I'd like to welcome everyone back to the NK Autos channel. Today we will be installing new air suspension bags that have been sent out to me from a wonderful company, Vigor Air, which I will include in the video description below. As you can see on my 2003 Lexus Gx470, we do have a little bit of a problem in the back. Both of my airbags have small leaks which will cause the car to sag when the car is turned off, as well as slowly leak while driving, which will lower the car and create a bad ride quality. So getting started today, I will show you guys the step-by-step tutorial on how to put these new bags in and all the tools we will need to do so. So let's first jack up the car on the left hand side and take the left wheel off to be able to start taking the old airbags off the car. Some tools we will be needing for this video. We will need to take the wheels off, so we're going to be using a socket with an extension as long as with a breaker bar, or we can use our air hammer to take the wheel off. That is optional. We will need, however, a thin screwdriver or a flathead like so to take the air lines off. We will need a long screwdriver to take the clip off of the top of the airbag, and we will need some pieces of 2x4 or anything that you can put underneath the bag to support it while we're putting the clip on. Optional tools, a pry bar to take the bag off from the bottom of the axle, and then what I think is the most important but is also optional if you can get the clip on is one of these metal magnetic tools from Harbor Freight. It was so much easier to just take the clip and put it in through the tight spot without having to put our fingers in there. I highly recommend getting one of these. If not, all you will really need is the first couple tools I labeled, something to take the wheels off, a flathead to take the air lines off, and definitely a long screwdriver to take the clip on top of off. Everything else is optional, but I highly recommend having those, as well as obviously a jack to be able to lift up the car, take the wheels off on both sides. So with that said, let's take all these tools and get started on taking the wheels off and putting the new airbags on. Alright, and with those tools that I have listed, we're going to first break free the wheel. Okay, and with the wheel broken loose now, we will have an easier time taking the wheel off once the car is jacked up in the air. So let's get our jack stand underneath the frame in the back here, and we will start to level up the car to be able to take this wheel off to get access to the airbags. Okay, now as you can see, I do have a lot of rust on this car. It is a 2003 and we do live in the salt belt. But for this install, we will not have to worry about taking the shocks off since we're not doing a leveling kit or a lift kit. But we do have to worry about the clip that is hidden in there. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see, but that's going to be the clip that's going to be holding on the airbag from the top. And then going underneath here, as you can see, we are going to have these two connections that are going to be going to the airbag that we will have to take off, at least enough for us to get the airbag on here, as well as connect the airbag to the air pump that is located back here. So to get this started, we are going to take the left hand side off first, since the axle is located in a way that it stretches easier for us to put this left bag in first. So we're going to take that clip off. I do have a long screwdriver that we will use to take the clip off on top. Once we get that airbag off, since it is deflated, since we do have a leak, I will not have a lot of air coming out of this pump, but once you disconnect this, if your bags are in good condition, they will release a good amount of air since it is in this compressor. But for me, this bag is already deflated, so I won't have any problems with that. So I'm going to get my long screwdriver. We're going to take the clip off from the top, and then we'll shimmy this airbag out and then install the new airbag. So once we move in on the frame rail, I'm going to try showing you guys the clip, which is located right there. You can see the little clip with the hole. We're going to be pushing that clip to the right since it is connected to that little piece on top right there. You can see is going to be connected to right here. So we're going to take that clip and push it to the right, and that's going to disconnect the bag. As you can see, that is the line for the hose. So once we have to just take this clip, push it to the right. There we go. We have taken the clip and disconnected it. As you can see right here, we just push it to the right, popped it off, and now we will be able to move that airbag around. So one other thing we might have to do if your airbag is still compressed, we will now take the airline off of the airbag, which will then decompress it, which will allow us to take the airbag out from underneath the supporting frame. Now that you can see the compressor, we're going to work on taking those lines off, which should be pretty simple. As you can see, we did have a little bit of air come out. That's not going to be nearly enough as you would if you would have full airbags. So with the left one disconnected, and this being the right one, we can now work on taking the airbag out, which will just compress it, and we will lower this axle in the left-hand side with a jack, and we'll have enough room to pop this old airbag out. So just a better explanation, we will first take this clip off by just pushing these two pins out and pulling it out. And then for this inner part, this is the part that's going to be tricky. You're going to take a small screwdriver, flathead, and we're going to push both of these clips outward. Since the hose is made that it has a lip around it, those two clips will be grabbing onto that lip. So we have to pull those two clips outwards, which will then allow us to pull this out. And it is a little bit of tricky to get this out. So I do recommend getting a small tool like this to pry out the piece, but once you have it out, it should be pretty straightforward from here on out. So now with the airline disconnected, we're going to take a pry bar and just pry this piece out. Make sure to keep an eye on these brake lines. We do not want to pop these. Pop out this bag, and then we're going to take our hands and we're going to compress this inward, and then we're going to work on taking this bag out from here. Okay, and now with the airbag out. What I did before taking this airbag out is I went behind the compressor, and there was just one clip holding this top piece right here on with the line. I just disconnected the line and then put the line through the top hole, which was then way easier to get this bag out without having to disconnect this top piece. As you can see, the condition of this bag is pretty bad. There were leaks and cracks in this rubber. So I'm happy to have Vigor Air send me out these beautiful bags to put in instead of these old ones. So let me get this piece disconnected, and then we're going to install the new airbag instead of this old one. Okay, and with that old line out, we're just going to be putting this new line in. Just pops in like so, quite simply. You can then make sure it doesn't pop out, and then we're just going to put this clip on, and there we go. It's on simply like that. It's easier to put on than take off, so with that taken off, with this, we will be able to take it out of the car easier. And now with this plugged in, we can now just put this hose through the top hole and then put this airbag in the old place. Okay, and now we can just take this hose and put it into the top. Alright, and with that bag put in place, with the wire connected on top, connected over, not connected yet over here, but just mounted up, we can now put the bag into this location, as well as putting the clip on. Putting this clip on will be the hardest part so far. You have to be pretty patient, since it is a retaining clip, so it is on there pretty well. I will bring you guys into the camera. It's going to be a little bit hard to see, but I'm going to try putting this clip on top of the airbag, as well as pushing up on the airbag so that it's perfectly seated. Okay, so I just got the clip inside. I still have to push it in all the way, but what I found is I have this magnetic little picker up tool that I got for Harbor Freight for a couple dollars. And what I did is I took the clip, I put it on here, I brought the clip inwards like this. It's going to be very hard to see, but the clip is in here right along with my tool. And I just brought the clip in. I brought the clip in like this, placed it on the little notch. I pushed it on a little bit just so I had enough room. And then I took my screwdriver like so and just pried it on all the way until it clipped on. There we go. And now with that clipped on, as you can see, the airbag is now not face down all the way. It is hovering there and it is intact. With that clip, it is very important to keep it on all the way, because if it does loosen up, your airbag could fall out. So that is very important to keep in mind. And now with the airbag clipped in on top, placed in right here, we can just work on taking the hose and connecting it back to the pump. So let me take you underneath the car and I'll show you how to connect it. As you can see underneath here, I took the wire and I brought it from the back of the airbag up to the top here, and then you can see right there there's a little clip that we just pushed it into, and then we brought it through the back over here around, and this is where the clip is right now. And you can see this is the old piece. We're just going to connect it again just by pushing it in. So, and now we cannot pull it back out. You can hear a click, cannot pull back out, and now we take our old piece, our clip, and just clip those pieces out like so. And now we'll be connected. Now we will work on the other side, which is going to be the right hand side. We're going to connect the wheel back on, we're going to put it on, we're going to drop the car, and we're going to work on the right hand side. While dropping the car, we will make sure to have the bag seat properly inside the housing. Okay, now with the bag properly seated, we will go on the right hand side and we will start taking apart the bag on that. Okay, now with the wheel loosened, we will take our jack stand and do the same thing. Put the jack underneath the back frame right here, and we will lift up this side of the wheel well. Okay, and with that wheel taken off, as you can see, we do have the same airbag on this side. I will show you guys how I use the pry tool to remove this airbag. Okay, with that airbag free, we're just going to take it and compress it. There we go. And now we will do the same thing we did on the other side with the clip. We will take our long flathead screwdriver and just pop it off, going down to this side. Take our flathead, and we're just going to pry off the clip. That one was pretty simple, came off no problem. Now with the clip off, we can now take the airbag line from underneath. We can disconnect it all, and now we can take the airbag out. And this side's gonna be more simple. As you can see, we're gonna have more room to take the airbag out from the side. With that said, I'll take you underneath, we'll take the hoses off, and then we'll shimmy the hose through the top hole right here, and then we'll be able to take our airbag off. So as you can see up top here, that is the hose that's going to be connected by 1, 2, 3, and 4 clips right here. We're going to take those clips, we're going to disconnect them all, and we're going to take them to the top hole right there where the airbag is, just like we did on the left hand side. Doing this, it will be easier to disconnect the airbag and not have to worry about disconnecting it from the top, since sometimes there is some corrosion and we will have a difficult time taking it off. So like I said, those 4 clips are going to be removed, and we're going to take them through the top hole and remove the airbag. Okay, those clips are removed. Now we just take our old bag with the line, and just fish it through. Take the airbag and try rotating it. Give us enough room to take it out to the bottom right here. Now with the bag out, as you can see, it is pretty corroded on top. It is a good idea to either have extra lines just in case you cannot take these clips off, or just have some WD-40 and spray these down a couple times before you take this job on, because in this case I will have to get different lines, and I will be using my old lines from my 2007 Gx470, which has no rust. So I'm not gonna have to worry about these top pieces. I'll just take my old lines from my 07 and pop them on the new ones, and these can go into the trash. Alright, and with these new bags and these lines from my 07, we will take them, pop them in, make sure they are inwards and they are clicked in, and then we'll just take our clip on the outside and attach it like that. There we go. Now we can take these lines, take it into the top of the hole from where the old bag sat, and then we can pop this bag in, put the clip on, connect this hose, and then we will be done in the install. There we go. And now we'll take our hose, pop it in through the top. Okay, now with the bags put in, it is going to be a little bit hard to showcase this piece on video, but we're just going to take these two wooden blocks or anything you have at home just to elevate this bag so we have an easier chance of putting the clip in. There we go, with that placed in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the clip, like so, put it on top of the clip for the top of the airbag, and then once I have it seated, I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and push it in. Okay, we have that placed on the clip. Now with our flathead. There we go. That went on a lot easier than the other side did. Now we can just take our blocks out, and as you can see, the bag is not moving anywhere. It is placed in there. So now we can just take the clips underneath, put the airlines back in, and then we can put the main airline back into the compressor housing. So let me get underneath, let's do that, and then I'll show you what the clip for the last piece is. And then what we're going to do is just a general reset of the ECU and the system for this air compressor. We're going to take a wire, connect it into our OBD connection, and then we're going to just do a general reset of the car, which will then allow our height control to go back to normal, and we won't have any more problems with the error codes. As you can see, with the airline connected on top, right there, we can now take the hose underneath the frame rail up through here, clip those back on, clip that on, clip that on, clip that on, and then we just have this last clip that I just connected. As like I said last time, push it in first, and then take this clip and do the opposite way of that clip on the compressor. So like I said, just pop it on like that. The wire is connected here, the wire is connected here, and now we can put the wheel on and make sure the bag seats into its housing. As you can see in the hole there, there's also going to be a hole there. We're going to connect those two, and then we're going to turn on the car, and we're going to reset the compressor. Okay, with the wheel put on, we still have to torque down all the wheels. Do not forget to do that. That is a very important step once we take a wheel off. We will do that at the end. We will just now take the car. We're going to lower it slowly, make sure that the bottom of the airbag aligns with the base of the piece for the airbag housing. Once we have that done, we can get inside the car. One last thing before turning on the car, we will take this torque wrench and torque our wheels to 100 foot-pound-feet of torque all the way around, just to ensure the wheels don't fall off while we're driving on the highway. Okay, now going inside of the car, it's going to be a simple reset. We're going to take some wire, as you can see right here, and then we're going to go down to our OBD connection. It's going to be right there, and we're going to take our fourth connection on top and then our fifth one on the bottom. So let me connect that real quick. As you can see right there, our fourth connection and then our fifth connection on the bottom. We're going to have that plugged in. Then we're going to go into the car, turn the car on to accessory mode, and then we're going to play with the brake, and we're going to go up and down until we hear a beep. And then we can turn the key to off position, and then we can turn on our car, and then we can hear the compressor turning on. As well as the car raising. As you can see now, with the car turned off, we do have normal ride height in the back. This will reset and level out since we did a final reset of the whole system. But we do have finally airbags in the back, and we do not have the car squatted. One other thing that may be causing your bags to go down is a height sensor, which for my case, I did replace my left one, and if the issue continues, we will be replacing the right hand one. I did use my old ones for my 07, so I got lucky on that, but you do have to spray the pieces down with the WD-40 or some PB Blaster before you remove it. In my case, if you are in the salt belts, you definitely have to, because you'll have a lot of trouble getting that off. But since the airbag doesn't require any major bolts or clips to be removed, we will not have to spray anything down for this install video. So like I said, I'd like to thank Vigor Air very much for sending me out these bags. These bags look great, and I will definitely make sure to leave a link in the video description below. They do have different suspension components for many different cars, so make sure to reach out to them if you have any questions. And if you have any questions for me, make sure to leave a comment in the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. This was a video on my 03 GX. I do have the 07 sitting outside right now, so make sure to stay tuned for more content for that car.